Here I'm on the left side of the cathedral, and we'll go a little bit deeper into it, of whether we'll ever be able to reconcile this exterior shot with what I see on the inside, who knows. But notice the variety of those towers' designs.
Tres que.
We're going to do a circumnavigation of the cathedral just for the fun of it. So again, further back on the left side, here this wall work sculpture. And then opposite this, probably part of the same complex originally, or not, is this. The building we looked at a moment ago on the right side has a companion, and the same is being redone. This says hospitalaria or something like that. And now at the back it looks like this is a segment remaining of the original wall of the city, but I don't really know that that's the case. But here we're looking at a side view of the back of the cathedral with what I'll call cascading levels of towers. All restored, particularly the part on the right. Again, at the back of the church, one can only imagine what it looks like from inside through that stained glass. Hopefully I'll recognize those three arches tomorrow. But it is a pretty church. Those flying buttresses are pretty. Topped by those light-looking towers. Contrasted by this dead tree. Interesting to see these, what look like three basic different elements. This almost squarish block structure, mitigated a bit by the kind of heavy towers on them. Then this more Gothic church design with the flying buttresses. And then this block design, but more Gothic in the high windows, but without flying buttresses, because they weren't that big a window apparently. Take a close look at that gargoyle that's had its head connected to the body with a strap of steel. Now we're looking at the right side, if you were facing the front. We'll start from the rear and kind of pan forward slowly. The part that's been restored certainly makes it look better and newer, but less authentic. And we'll take a close look at the actual main entrance here on the right-hand side. And the flying buttresses really stand out lovely there. The lightness of this tower is dramatized by that almost filigree triangular section. One can only imagine again the stained glass. Here they're an elderly couple, slowly working their way back to wherever they're going. What have their lives been filled with? What would the stories be? Would they be ordinary? Or would their simplicity be extraordinary? Notice the juggler in front of them. Occasionally she drops one. But she's having fun. A little bit of lightness to their life. Ah, she's going to get a chance to do it. Here's another kind of bunk bed, one that uses, it's like a military design, all metal. This would be a good solution, a quick solution. If I wanted more height, it's short about 4 inches, it would be possible to cut this apart and weld in another 4-inch piece or whatever. That would solve that. What they've done for mattresses on these springs, for some reason, although the springs look pretty substantial, is they put wood. They're just actually particle board, 3/4 inch, 5/8 on there, and tied it in place so it doesn't slip around. They just put these cheap mattresses on top of it. Notice that there are no side railings on the top. This was one of the least enjoyable albergues to stay in Lyon because it has almost no ventilation at all. There are these 4 windows in this big room with probably 50 people in it, and those windows are down low, so all the heat builds up on top. And 3 fans. Fortunately, one was close to me, so I had a breeze coming in on me all night long of some sort, but it was not the worst. And clearly not the best. De Santa Maria de Leon. Here they've just hosed down this little plaza. They'll hose down all of them to get ready for the next day, or today. And it's hosed down with some kind of a soap, probably an antiseptic solution also. As you can see, not much activity at 8 o'clock in the morning. Spain doesn't really wake up early because it goes to bed so late. Last night at 8 o'clock, actually, yeah, 8 o'clock, many restaurants were just starting to put their chairs and tables out and get ready to set up for a 9 or 10 o'clock dinner time. On balance, Lyon is a interesting, confused, narrow-streeted old town, which adds to its charm considerably with these little squares everywhere. But compared to Burgos, it is not a pretty town, not a place where I would want to live. Beyond the old town is sprawl. In this old town of Lyon is pure raw tourism. There's a certain commercial affection for Ireland. Here's Molly Malone's Irish pub, and on the Plaza Mayor there's another Irish pub. And this morning I'm merely wandering from 8 o'clock until 8 because I have to kill 3 hours until I can get into my new albergue. And I think the better pronunciation is albergue. Everywhere, of course, they're trying to punch out the Catholic Church. I mean that in a positive sense, to punch it, to exploit it. But I much prefer this approach. But here in my solitude, it's much more easier to enjoy the pretty colors of this well-maintained streets. There in the east, the sun is preparing to rise. The cathedral just to the left up there, that's the top end, I'll call it, of Calle Ancha. And I'm at a pretty little intersection now with some nice inlaid stonework. This was made a pedestrian street sometime, I think, in the last 20 or 30 years. And we're going down here to look at Antonio Gaudi, Catalunya, which is near Barcelona, or is the Barcelona area, architect who's famous historically in Spain. One of his prime buildings. This takes watering plants to a whole new level. That's his. Looking down a side street, I see this pretty balcony up on the corner of a building. It looks old. I'm not sure if it's decrepit yet or not, but on a slicing angled corner. Very pretty because it wraps around.